now we want to start, at least in Discover, as a way to kind of introduce ways of learning from your data. So most of the time you spend in Sentry, ideally is going to be in and out. You're coming in to solve an issue, you're triaging it, resolving it, leaving Sentry. But we also have many helpful components that also don't take a long time to investigate. And Discover is a tool that kind of helps you conduct these quick investigations, at least within an alerting context for our discussion today. So let's jump into Discover just to introduce it as a tool that can help us learn from our historical event data. So in this case, if you've never heard of the tool before, it's a querying tool. A lot of metadata comes in on event payloads. And this tool is what allows you to kind of search across that event metadata, describing your own types of queries, and even gaining insights and sort of using these to create alerts yourself, or even dashboards, which is another feature for sort of preserving or allowing teams to reflect on certain data sets periodically over time. But for now, I'm going to introduce a straightforward query that's fairly fast to execute and set up that might help you grab some low-hanging fruit when it comes to noisy issues that could be impacting your alert or the signal of your current alerting strategy. I'm going to actually stick across all projects for now. Let me just query all projects. And we're going to look across the last 14 days at our top issues. So again, we're going to stick with issues. This is something that we've been looking at. And we're going to just count across them. So once you set up a visualization, I usually like to look at top daily. And we'll sort by count ascending here. So right off the bat, Sentry is going to give you, at least within this visualization, an idea of which issues have persisted the longest. Perhaps these issues were originally ignored and they switched state to unresolved. Perhaps they got lost in the fray of higher priority issues. But this is a good way to see and evaluate your noisiest issues right off the bat, just to either add more event metadata to the query or just explore deeper within a project to see if any of these issues are great candidates, say, for filtering. So filtering is kind of a first line action that you can take right out of this Discover query. So if we wanted to, for instance, look at our noisiest issues in a particular project, we can always add that project to the filter. And now we're looking at our noisiest issues within this. This is a front-end project. We're looking at our noisiest issues in the front-end project, and we can continue to add layers of metadata here to better understand perhaps the value of these issues to our team. So should these be triaged to be taken care of immediately? Are these issues that we just don't care to see in Sentry anymore? That's more of the side of the conversation for taking a quick, almost hygiene approach to your historical data. And in this case, you have options. If you want to explore more of the metadata within a particular issue, you can always click on one of these issue descriptions and use that metadata to make filtering decisions. So when I say filtering decisions, you have options both on the client side and within your project to make sure that these events no longer impact or they no longer introduce unneeded variability into your inputs. And the downstream effect being perhaps issue alerts firing too often, or in the grouping case, which we're about to get into, not being consolidated into a single signal. But just quickly to show, there are options within a project for filtering based on release or error message right off the bat. And every SDK should have a before send callback in which you can explore parts of the event payload and also filter based on those as well.